Good morning, everyone. It's 9 o'clock, April 20th, 2021. I'd like to call the McLeod County Board meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like to ask everyone to remain standing in memory of Walter Mondale, longtime Senator, Vice President, Attorney General, litany of things that he accomplished. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, good morning. We'll start today with the recognition of our employee retirement. Cheryl Yanish. Hannah?
Yeah, thank you. Good morning. I'm excited to get to recognize this morning Corrections Sergeant Cheryl Janish. After nearly 20 years of service to the McLeod County Sheriff's Office. Cheryl is retiring on the 29th of April this year, and on behalf of the Sheriff's Office, we have Tim and Will here this morning to present to her.
Morning.
Morning.
So I have a plaque here for Cheryl Janish in recognition and appreciation of your dedicated service to the citizens of McLeod County and the McLeod County Sheriff's Office. She was a correctional officer from May 5th, 2001 to October 14th, 2006, and a sergeant from October 15th, 2006 to April 30th of 2021. Thank you for your service and good luck with your retirement.
Thank you. Commissioners, could I have you step in front? We're going to take a quick photo with Cheryl, Will, Tim, and the board. So I'll have you just stand right up here, and you can face me. You can stand between Tim and Will. That would be good. Yeah. Perfect. You guys look great.
Congratulations, Cheryl.
Can everyone look right here to me? Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. And then we'll record it. 1, 2, 3. Great. Thanks again. Congratulations, Cheryl. Can I have a picture? Oh, one more. Sorry, one more. Oh, sorry. There's a whole line here. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming in.
All right, consideration of agenda items.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I'd like to request adding item F under County Administration, asking the board to consider approval of contract with Fahey Sales and Auctioneers and Appraisers to remove and sell heaters from the former McLeod County Health and Human Services building at 1805 Ford Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota, and authorize myself, County Administrator Sheila Murphy, to sign the contract on behalf of the county. Fahey plans to sell the heaters at their May Tools auction. They needed a short contract signed, and I'm just asking to add it so we don't have to wait until May to do that.
I'll move to approve the agenda with the addition.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Nagel to approve the agenda.
Second, Schmalz.
Seconded by Commissioner Smalls. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda. Any additions or corrections to it?
Move to approve.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Luthens. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. COVID-19. Barrett. Morning, Barrett.
Good morning.
Morning. As of yesterday, the 19th, McLeod County has had a total of 3,964 positive cases of COVID-19. At the last board meeting, I reported 3,722 positive cases. This is an increase of 242 cases in the last 2 weeks. which is quite an increase from what we have been seeing. Currently, we have 140 active cases in the county, and unfortunately have had 55 COVID-19 related deaths since the start of the pandemic. We've had 14 hospital admissions in the last 14 days due to COVID-19. I encourage everyone, as always, to check the COVID-19 dashboard on our county website for more statistics and up-to-date information. We continue to provide our COVID-19 vaccination clinics. To date, we've held 33 clinics and administered 4,624 first doses and 2,122 second doses for a total of 6,746 doses administered. We have 2 vaccination clinics scheduled for this week, Thursday and Friday, my apologies. We are seeing an increase definitely in the school age kids in their cases of COVID-19. A number of the schools in the county have changed their learning models to accommodate that increase and are reaching out to us for help and assistance as needed. We continue to meet the goal of having 90% of first doses administered within 72 hours. And just some statistics on McLeod County residents as a whole. 16 plus population, 47% have received at least 1 dose. And of the 65 plus population, 82% have received at least 1 dose. So things are progressing quite nicely in that area. That's really all I have. Any questions for me?
Questions for Barrett?
Yeah, Mr. Chair and Barrett, thanks for your report. How's supply going as far as getting the vaccine now compared to where we were a month or 2 months ago?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Schmalz, quite well, actually. We are getting the Moderna vaccine, which is, we prefer to have that because it's just easier storage. It doesn't need to be ultra cold. It is the 2-dose vaccine. We have plenty of doses. Some weeks are a little bit different, but we are able to accommodate all the people that are interested and have developed quite a wait list. And we do have people who sign up for a vaccine clinic and then maybe get the vaccine or their dose someplace else, so that we have no shows or people not show up or called to cancel. And then we're able to call people on that wait list. So we're doing quite well with our dose allocations. Thank you.
Thank you, Barrett.
Clarification, Barrett, is it at 16 and up now? I thought I heard something that they were lowering that age, or is that where it's at 16?
So 16 plus are eligible for the vaccine right now. McLeod County Public Health can only vaccinate 18 and plus because we have the Moderna vaccine. So Pfizer would be the applicable vaccine for people who are 16. They are looking at vaccinating people that are younger at this point, but we don't have any concrete information on that.
Okay, and then the only other thing I have is I'm getting a lot of compliments on how you're running. It's a compliment to your staff and to our building. I hope that things are going pretty smoothly here during the vaccination times.
Vaccination clinics are going quite well. We've got, as I said, we've got a number under our belt, so they're running smoothly. And yes, we do get a number of compliments about the building when people are here.
Thank you. Any other questions for Barrett?
Thanks, Barrett.
Thank you.
Sheila?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I would add to that, Barrett's team is doing a very good job of organizing efficient vaccination clinics at our building, and also that Connie's team and others in the front have done a good job of serving the public for services that are going on when we have a lot of people visiting our building. We continue to update our signage, and as part of the pandemic, we, as you know, months ago purchased a system called QLess. And that is what people will use to check in when they come to our building or before they come to our building. You'll see that implemented soon. Please watch our website and signage at our building when you're visiting to learn more about that. But thank you. For my update today, I wanted to talk about the American Rescue Plan Act. As we've discussed, President Biden signed that $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 on March 11th. Of this total, $65.1 billion is allocated in direct aid to counties, and $6.9 million of that is expected to be the confirmed allocation to McLeod County. We have not yet received our funds, nor were we expecting to, but we have been told that the first tranche, as they're calling it, 50%, of those funds will be received within 60 days of that bill having been signed. That's the requirement. So within 60 days of March 11th, we'll receive 50% of the expected $6.9 million. Then the remaining 50% tranche will be received within 12 months after the first disbursement. So whenever we get that first one, we should know our 12-month window for the next half of funds. The Association of Minnesota Counties continues to provide good guidance. They work with the U.S. Department of Treasury directives. As of today, we do not have still the official guidance on eligible usage of funds from the Treasury, but we do have general guidelines. On April 6th, they had noted that it would be in the coming day, and I think they meant coming days, but we're at April 20th, and we still don't know the exact guidance for spending those funds, but we are grateful that we don't have the funds and are spending them ahead of that. At our next meeting, we'll be asking the board for reactivation of the Coronavirus Relief Fund Committee in McLeod County. As you remember, we used them for the CARES Act and for the coronavirus relief funds that came to the county after that. We will ask for them to be reactivated to help manage recommendations of fund usage. In meeting with other counties since our last meeting, other counties have indicated that the majority plan to use their funds for infrastructure projects. For example, broadband, water, sewer, and they do not plan to use them for small business assistance programs since there are other closer fit programs ongoing for business assistance and from the past efforts like what we have done. Our immediate actions as a county are to confirm our DUNS number, which is a 9-digit federal government number used to track how federal money is allocated. That's completed. Next was to confirm we have an active SAM registration. That's the official government-wide database registry used in order to do business with the federal government with federal financial assistance. That's also completed. And finally, to gather our payment information to allow for transfer of funds. This was already in place and completed. These 3 steps were handled by our finance director, Colleen Roback. In short, the eligible uses of the funds must meet these standards. Responding to or mitigate the public health emergency with respect to the COVID-19 emergency or its negative economic impacts. Providing government services to the extent of the reduction in revenue. Make necessary investments in water, sewer, or broadband infrastructure. And responding to workers performing essential work during the COVID-19 public health emergency by providing premium pay to eligible workers of the county that are performing such essential work, or by providing grants to eligible employers who have eligible workers who perform essential work. The deadline to spend these funds is still December 31st, 2024. Periodic financial reporting will be required, similar to the last 2 rounds of funds, and the bill currently indicates that funds can be applied to any reductions in revenue based on the most recent full fiscal year. The bill states the counties may transfer these funds to a private nonprofit, a public benefit corporation involved in the transportation of passengers or cargo, or a special purpose unit of state or local government. I'll give you each a copy of this because it's probably the best summary that we can provide for now. I don't have any other updates relative to COVID-19. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Sheila? And none.
Okay.
Thanks, Sheila. Kevin, I guess we can incorporate your COVID with your emergency management message as well. So,
Okay,
or
perfect.
if you want to combine them together, it's fine.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. So nice to see everybody in person once again. So it's kind of fun being out in the public and stuff instead of looking at the computer screens all the time. So don't have a whole lot of an update for you. I know in emergency management, we're continuing to still support Health and Human Services and the facilitation of the vaccinations and dissemination of information. The latest thing that is kind of coming out over the last couple weeks is FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, recently approved financial assistance for those that have experienced COVID-related deaths in their family. So there's some eligible assistance. I've disseminated information out to our local funeral homes, hospitals, our Health and Human Services COVID-19 team, as far as sharing that information out for those, like Barrett said, we had 55 deaths in McLeod County. So in order to be eligible for that funeral assistance, there must be 4 conditions that must be met. So the death must have occurred in the United States, including the U.S. territories and the District of Columbia. The death certificate must indicate the death was contributed or attributed to COVID-19. The applicant must be a U.S. citizen, non-citizen national, or a qualified alien who incurred funeral expenses after January 20th of 2020. And then lastly, there must be no requirement for the deceased person to have been a U.S. citizen, non-citizen national, or qualified alien. So there's a lot of people that would be eligible for this, and I would encourage people to contact our funeral home should they need that kind of assistance. I also do have a flyer that we could share. We could always put it on our county page as well too, if that's something we wish to do. But just kind of want to do that. So it's pretty simple. I have contact information for FEMA, so people can always contact me at the Emergency Management Office, and we can get them the information that they do need. As we're continuing to vaccinate people and hopefully getting this pandemic kind of behind us, we're always looking in emergency management as when can we demobilize. So that are some discussions that are going to be currently taking place here over the next couple weeks to see how can we demobilize and return to whatever a sense of normalcy that we have. So we're always kind of looking at doing some different things like that. We're also looking at our Empg grant purchases. So this is specific to COVID-19, and that's what I'm going to ask here in a little bit. But I know there's some current grant purchases that we're looking to do today, and some of the other things we have in the future. We're looking at more face shields, for our responders and those in healthcare facilities and priority groups. We're looking at some goggles, maybe some gloves, as we're starting to get kind of low on some of those supplies as well. So that is pretty much it for my COVID update. One thing that I'm here today is to seek approval to purchase some N95 respirators. Currently, we don't have any for emergency management that are non-expired. We do have some expired ones that we do have that we can use in an emergency, but did kind of do some research as far as some different companies, and there is a company that do have them. I got an email actually from them yesterday asking if we're going to purchase those because there's another customer that wanted, and they wanted to check with us first. So I think they're holding this order should it get approved today. So that is really comforting to know. And what I'm asking to purchase 12 cases of 1870 plus N95 respirators. That's 5,280 total that we would have stockpiled, and those would be purchased from McKesson Medical Surgical for a quote of $6,075.72. The shipping would be free, and then these masks would be stockpiled and be used and disseminated out to those in the priority groups that do need those. Obviously, with the pandemic, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, so we want to make sure that we have enough for the healthcare facilities and emergency responders that would need those.
Well, we don't want them to hold the order too much longer, so I'll move to approve, Mr. Chair.
Motions are made by Commissioner Nagel to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Smalls. Is there any discussion? I do have a question. Just in the math here, it's a grant of $12,749, and it's a 50% match, but you show $6,000 in expenses. Am I confused, or what am I missing?
With our 50% match, so we have a $12,749 grant, so we have to actually match that 50%. So in order to receive our allocation, we'd have to spend $25,000, something like that we have. So we'll get reimbursed $12,749 and some change back.
So we're not using the full amount of the grant, is what you're saying. Is that correct?
Not at this point, no. There's some more purchases that will be coming in the
And we
future.
can go back at that at a later time. Is that true?
Yes, the grant period expires, I think, towards the end of this year, so
Good.
we have several months to go yet. So.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Kevin.
Okay, thank you.
Public Works, John. Good morning, John.
Good morning. The one item for you today, we took bids last Tuesday on our seal coat, and Countywide pavement marking, county projects 21-00001 and 21-00002. The low bid was from Asphalt Surface Technologies out of St. Cloud with the bid of $466,783.49. And we had 6 other bids ranging from $480,378.65 all the way up to $526,655.11. We've worked with Aztec Surface Technologies in the past, and they do good work, and we recommend we award to them.
Any questions for John?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the request of both A and B.
Motion made by Commissioner Smalls to approve A and B. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Nagel. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Still no updates on postings yet, so I'm getting a lot of calls, but still on as far as today.
Do you have any idea when the construction season will start? It probably won't start till after, I mean, it's such a funny spring. It was 90 and now we're freezing, but
That's part of the delay, I think, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure when, MnDOT usually has their big kickoff as well, but it is certainly pushed back probably with
you'll
the,
post,
with the weather.
either send out an email or
Sure.
on the, okay.
How long have
Very
they been
good.
on? Has it been 6 weeks yet?
It went on March 4th, I want to say.
it's getting there.
So, yeah.
How long
But
can they
we've
have
been
one?
into May in the past though, on different
Yeah.
ones I've looked
I
at,
do.
so.
I remember.
Mainly due to some of these spikes like this. It gets cold, you know, and then it drags out again, so.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Information technology. Matthew. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm here to request consideration of a one-year renewal of software subscription for NetMotion software from Verizon Wireless of New York, New York, for a state contract price of $5,200 with funds from the information technology budget. NetMotion is software used by the Sheriff's Office for secure connectivity for squad car computer access. Another quote was received from SHI for $5,764.
Any questions for Matt on A?
Move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Wright. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Go ahead, Matt.
Request to consider a quote for server replacements from Exigent Solutions of Minneapolis, Minnesota, for a state contract price not to exceed $102,491.34 with funds from the information technology budget. The quote includes the state contract price of $94,491.34 plus installation and support services costs not to exceed $8,000 for the servers being replaced, are 6+ years old and are nearing the end of support.
Questions for Matt?
Move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Nagel. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Employee Relations, Hannah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just one item today. I'm considering approval of the Evaluation Committee and Personnel Committee recommendation to grade the Economic Development Director position a grade 220. This is a newly created position per the direction of the board. The Economic Development Director will be responsible for leading partnerships efforts throughout establishing strong relationships with cities, chambers, businesses, local partners, and regional economic development organizations, and will ensure marketing and branding efforts support the economic growth of McLeod County. The budget impact is anticipated to be between $70,283.20 and $105,435.20 plus benefits. This will be dependent on the experience of the candidate.
Questions for Hannah?
So we've already approved the position. You're just bringing it back to us for rating, correct?
This is, both items are happening here. This has gone through evaluation and personnel first, and then was graded, so we're bringing it for the final approval of the position.
Mr. Chair,
Go
what
ahead.
he's noting, Hannah, is that we did bring the position to the board. But it does note that it's per the direction of the board that we're bringing it back. Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Just a question for my benefit. Can I get a short explanation of the grading system when we tie it to a numerical value like 220, 240 or whatever? Just a little bit of an explanation on that?
Yeah, so we have an evaluation committee that's been assigned. It's made up of 4 staff members in McLeod County from different parts of the county. When a position is brought to, whether it's a new position, a position that has changed and needs to be regraded, or has been requested maybe due to the position, maybe the position changing for some reason, whether there's new additional duties of the position, it goes to the evaluation committee, and we follow something called the Keystone grading process, which is something that the McLeod County adopted in 2016, 2017, and there are grading, it's a pretty intricate process of grading based on the requirements of the position. Everything from the knowledge required to the how many folks this person is responsible for, whether it's for supervising. And so it's an internal process that goes to the evaluation committee. After it's evaluated by the committee, we meet together, and then that evaluation, the final grading, goes to the personnel committee for review prior to bringing it here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for Hannah?
Just basically, once we approve this today, if approved that we're good to go, we begin looking for candidate searches, correct?
That's right, yep.
And I know there's been some questions on it, and I mean, it's a little tough. We've been working on this so long. Talking about it, I'm somewhat excited about it. I think it's unfortunate that we started a conversation with the old board, and now we have 2 new members, so I understand it takes a little time to catch up. I mean, just some of the key points I just remember going over, you know, the idea to be ready for new businesses or new housing needs in McLeod County to encourage employees plus employers. I mean, I see, I mean, times are different, so I mean, I see a positive in this, and I'm excited, and it'll be under, I don't want to say scrutiny, but it'll be under a magnifying glass to see if we can show some measurable goals, so.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with all you said. It will be under some scrutiny, and we'll have to do that, but it's also an investment, you know, into our county. And with that, I'd move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Nagel to approve. Is there a second?
And I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Smalls. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
County Administration, review of calendars. Commissioner Luthens.
Back on March 6th, I had a workshop. Then that evening, I met with the Extension, Karen Johnson, working on the Farmer of the Year for McLeod County. Then on the 9th, met on Zoom with Kimberly Hall, SMAMC. Then on March 12th, Monday, Minnesota Rural Counties, Dan Larson. Then on the 13th, McLeod County had a safety meeting. Kevin Matthews had it. And on the 14th, Pack for Families. That was an all-day Zoom meeting with several different sub-meetings in it. And then on the 19th, I met with Mark Teletsky in the Environmental Office. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Commissioner Wright?
Okay, on the 12th, Fairgrounds Commission met. We talked a lot about structures, maintenance, getting ready for potential events, and hopefully bringing people back into our wonderful fairgrounds. The 13th, department head meeting. Then after that, Commissioner Kruger and I met with our finance team and SWCD on financing future ditch projects as they're getting more and more costly to work with, and how we can best work with landowners on some of those larger costs. After that, Commissioner Nagel and I met as Budget Committee with staff and went over some random things as well as an update with the new coronavirus federal program, which Sheila covered very nicely at the beginning of the meeting. So that's it for update today.
Thank you, Commissioner. For myself, I had the after-board workshop on the 8th. I had MRC on Monday the 12th. Some of the things there that we're discussing, again, I'll remind everyone that MRC is Minnesota Rural Counties. It's a branch, or we're yoked with AMC, but representing more of the rural counties. And we had another speaker this week, or this month, on environmental change and greenhouse gases. And the reason I mention it, and I think it's important, is because we're in rural counties and agricultural counties, and I just caution, and I use the word caution a little loosely, but people need to stay at the tables. Our watershed boards, our commissioners, our different farm groups. We need to be at the table and kind of watch the message and try to guide into a feasible plan for ag to prosper here. And on the 13th, 4/13, I had a department head meeting, and as Commissioner Wright acknowledged, after that we had a drainage meeting with Connie and Ryan, and trying to figure out a feasible way to improve drainage and yet the affordability and spreading out the payments over a number of years for the farmers to be able to cash flow it. On the 15th, I had agenda review. This morning, I actually had a joint ditch Carver McLeod ditch 5 meeting. We did some maintenance, a culvert replacement. And that brings me to today. Commissioner Nagel.
Right, most of it's covered, but real quickly, of course, attended the workshop after the board meeting, had some NACO calls scheduled, security discussions with the admin team here regarding our buildings throughout the county. More to follow on that as we continue to evaluate that type of issue. The budget committee got brought up. Personnel, I need to clarify this. I do this all the time. We talk about personnel issues. I'm on the personnel committee, and I just want to let everybody know that we talk about that every 2 weeks. Well, there was some confusion or some confusion on if I was talking about specific personnel issues. I would never do that, nor could I anyway. So if there's any questions regarding the personnel piece of my update, which you'll probably hear every 2 weeks, because we have that much of it, well, honestly, I'll refer it to Hannah, but the honest answer is it's just more of a general letting everybody know that we're always, like we talked about this morning with the evaluation committee, we're always talking about those things, we're always working on those. So I want to be transparent and let you know that that's where some of my time was spent, but it's never, ever specific to any one issue. Any other thing I had was some water issues that are happening in the district that I represent, but I think we're working through those. So that's it, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chair, since our last county board meeting, like the rest of you have already reported, we had our workshop on the 6th, and then I actually had a pretty peaceful week, and then it brings us to the following week. On the 15th of April, we had a Pioneer Land Library meeting by Zoom in the evening. On the 19th, Monday, attended a meeting with Environmental Services Director Telecki. And this morning, as Commissioner Kruger mentioned, we had a Carver McLeod Joint Ditch 5 meeting at 7:30. And that brings us to present. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Sheila?
Nothing to add for the calendar, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Want to go into the admin items?
Thank you. Item A, consider adopting Resolution 21-CB-16, authorizing sponsorship of trails operated by Crow River Snow Pros.
Move to approve.
Move to approve resolution, Mr. Chair.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Schmalz, seconded by Commissioner Wright to approve the authorization of snow pros. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Go ahead, Sheila.
Thank you. Item B, consider approval of the memorandum of agreement with Law Enforcement Labor Services, LELS, licensed sergeants. This memorandum of agreement modifies Article 14, vacation and sick leave, by temporarily waiving limitations to maximum capacity of hours of vacation only. This memorandum of agreement supersedes the memorandum of agreement dated March 2020. And I'm just going to give a little extra information since we have new board members, since the majority of anything union has been discussed. But we do have 8 unions at McLeod County, different units throughout our different departments. And this one is called LELS often, which is, like you see, the Law Enforcement Labor Services. We have 2 LELS units. They are managed by 2 different business agents. Each of the unions has their own contract. So that Article 14 is within that union contract. You can find those on SharePoint if you need to look at them. You'll often see either memorandum of agreement or a memorandum of understanding. So it's either called an MOU or an MOA that will come before you. This is needed to extend the one that was done in March 2020 because the pandemic lasted, quite frankly, longer than we expected and affected the usability for our employees of their vacation. So this helps resolve that issue and also affects the next item that I will ask you. So hopefully that helps.
Any questions for Sheila before we? I'd entertain a motion for item A. B.
Move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Nagel. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Go ahead, Sheila.
Thank you. Item C, very similar. Consider approval of the memorandum of agreement with LELS non-licensed sergeants, so a different unit. This memorandum of agreement modifies their Article 14.3, vacation and sick leave, by temporarily waiving limitations to maximum capacity of hours of vacation only, superseding the agreement dated March 2020.
Any questions?
Move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve. Is there a second? I'll second it. Motion's been made and second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Item D is just a notification we wanted to share with you. After you had recently approved the spending on the boiler system at the courthouse, we have a notification of CenterPoint Energy rebates received totaling $14,000. So Scott Gribna, our maintenance supervisor, added this to the agenda. These are received as a result of the replacement of 2 boilers at the McLeod County Courthouse. Item,
Sheila?
yes?
Just a comment. I just appreciate that they brought that forward because between the efficiencies of the new boiler and that $14,000 rebate, it's a real assistance to the engine room, so.
I agree. And Scott Gribna does a very good job of notifying us of these changes and didn't know if he should add it, but we were happy to have it so that you could see the economic impact. Thank you.
It's nice to get money back.
It is nice to get money back. Item E, notification of board workshop to be held following the board meeting on May 4, 2021 here at the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue North, Glencoe, Minnesota. And then item F, which we added, let's see here. I am asking the board to consider approval of the contract with Fahey Sales Auctioneers and Appraisers, Glencoe, Minnesota, to remove and sell heaters from the McLeod County Health and Human Services Building at 1805 Ford Avenue North, Glencoe, and authorize myself, County Administrator Sheila Murphy, to sign the contract on behalf of the county. Fahey plans to sell these heaters at their May Tools auction. These are small space heaters that we can't use in these spaces safely any longer, and they were lined up down the hall from years of different people having them, so they're not large heaters, they are small portable units and a good fit for selling at that May Tools auction. However, they need a separate contract to do that.
Mr. Chair? Oh, excuse me.
The contract should be signed by both Sheila and the board chair.
Go ahead,
Mr.
Nathan.
Chair? Yeah, I think Sheila and I did a walkthrough on the Health and Human Services building, and it was an eye-opener to see the heaters. These are the milk house version heaters, as some of us old guys would know. So with that in mind, I would move to approve the request.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Smalls. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Nagel. Thank goodness they were strong milk house heaters.
Yeah.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Anything else, Sheila?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Open forum. Anyone in the audience that has anything? Press relations, Karen? Thank you. Look for a motion to recess.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Luthens. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're recessed until May 4th, 2021, 9 a.m. at 520 Chandler here in the Government Center. Thank you. Have a great day.